of Forever Afraid of the Dark, and happy October. To celebrate Spooky Month, we're getting right back into it with Season 2 of Are You Afraid of the Dark, and Episode number 1, The Tale of the Final Wish. Right off the bat, there's a couple things that are different about this season. First off, the legendary intro is finally here. We've changed the music because we all know how YouTube can be. Another thing different about this season is a member of the Midnight Society is no longer here, Eric. Kristen is up first this season. The episode starts with her reading from a book of fairy tales. Frank isn't excited because he thinks fairy tales are wimpy until Gary explains how dark and violent the original fairy tales can be, and it's true. I recommend reading some original Grimm's fairy tales when you get the chance. With that being said, Kristen begins. Jill is a young girl who is obsessed with fairy tales, so much so that most of the time she's off in a fantasy land. After waking up from a nightmare, Jill checks under her bed thinking something is there. Nothing there, of course. Or is there? There is. Well, sorta. Turns out it was her brother playing a prank on her. Goes without saying, but Jill is upset.
Come on, don't be such a snitch!
I hate you! Why did you do that?
The next day it's time for school, and Jill is getting ready. It takes too long, and now her mom is going to be late for work, and she's not too happy about that. Everyone around Jill wants her to grow up. Her parents, brother, and even her friends. But Jill doesn't really know how, even though she wants to. At school, Jill is hanging out with her friends as they drool over a boy that they have a crush on.
Did you see that? He checked her out. Did he check her out? No way. He wouldn't check out a geek.
Yeah, some friends. Dude, seriously? Jill, you need to find some new friends, fast. Later that night, Jill goes to bed and dreams about the boy from school as Prince Charming. But her dream is interrupted by her brother and another one of his pranks.
Why did you do that?
I got this for Halloween and I just wanted to show you.
You did not. You wanted to scare me again.
No, really, I didn't mean to.
Yes, you did. I hate you. I hate all of you.
I'm sorry. Jeez, don't get so bent out of shape.
Get out of here. Leave me alone.
No sweat. I'm gone.
Jill takes it pretty well, I'd say. After she calms down, she makes a wish on a star. Something tells me this is going to go very badly. Well, looks like you might have gotten your wish, Jill. Her whole family just vanished. Jill thinks it's her brother playing a prank again and checks under her bed. It isn't her brother, it's Bobcat Goldthwait. That's the last thing I'd want to find hiding under my bed. Some unseen force drags Jill under the bed into a very strange place. Turns out Jill is in the land of Nod, and Bobcat is the Sandman. Not that one. Yeah, that's the one. Jill has the right idea in the beginning that this is not real, but it is real. Very real.
You took my book, clutched it to your chest, looked out at the first star, and said, "What's so wrong about wanting to live in a place where dreams come true, where you can wish upon a star? I wish I could, and I wish everybody would leave me alone." Sound familiar?
No way.
Yes way! You're in your own fairy tale!
The Sandman explains everything to Jill and us. Jill is in her own fairy tale because she wished for it, but now she just wants to go home. But the Sandman informs her that the fairy tale can't be changed, so she's stuck there. Jill runs and tries to escape, but it's no use. She keeps running into all types of fairy tale villains and monsters, such as the Red Queen and the witch from Hansel and Gretel. Jill stumbles through another door to find her family and friends all in a weird dreamlike limbo. Jill isn't able to wake them up, so she keeps running until she finally reaches a giant hourglass. Just as she's about to break it, the Sandman stops her and says again the fairy tales can't be changed, and Jill, her family, and her friends are stuck here. But the Sandman slips up and says that he will put Jill to sleep, thus changing the fairy tale. Jill picks up on this and realizes that the story can be changed. She smashes the hourglass and wakes up back in the real world where everything is normal. Looks like it was just a bad dream. Jill decides that it's probably time to give up on the fairy tales and start growing up.
The little girl went back to sleep, promising never to believe in fairy tales again. If only she knew, she would have never gone back in that bed again.
Wait, what's this? Maybe it wasn't a dream after all. And that's it. Tale of the Final Wish was one of my least favorite episodes when I saw it as a kid during its original run in the early 90s. And after this rewatch, it's still a really weak episode. It has a predictable twist even for a children's show, and Bobcat's performance seems pretty phoned in to me. The side characters do basically nothing in this story, and it feels like they're just there because there has to be more than just Jill and the Sandman. With that being said, I'm going to give The Tale of the Final Wish 1.5 jars of sleeping dust out of 5. Next up, we have episode 2 of season 2, The Tale of the Midnight Madness, which in contrast to this episode is one of my favorites. So until then, stay afraid.